Okay, well, we are going to start the video off by discussing the quote-unquote news about Deshaun Watson, and I put it in quotes because the news is essentially that there is no news. I saw a couple tweets from Josina Anderson. I think she has a source that says that Sue Robinson's briefs for the Watson hearing are going to be due soon this week, and that a decision for her on a suggested suspension might not happen for a few weeks, and that this might not even be something that happens before training camp. So while there is technically light at the tunnel for Browns fans on this situation, there has been light at the end of the tunnel for a while. It doesn't seem like it's gotten any closer. It's a possibility that maybe that this decision comes out tomorrow and that there's maybe this speeds up faster, but there is a big possibility that this is going to seep into training camp, and that the Browns still won't know for how long Deshaun Watson is going to be suspended. I mean, I guess if at all. Again, I'm very doubtful that Sue Robinson comes back with a no suspension warranted decision, but I guess we'll see. I think I've thought about a million different things about how this case was going to go, and each time I was leaning one way, something completely contradictory would happen. So I guess that this is still completely up in the air, and it probably isn't going to conclude anytime soon. Again, the news about the Deshaun Watson hearing is that there is no news, but there will be news at some point before week 1. So there's that. Then we will pivot over to the Blue Jackets. They've had a couple of situations since the last time we've talked about them, including the NHL Draft that was done over the weekend. I think the first round took 4 hours, and it was crazy. Shane Wright, I think he's been projected to go number 1 for like the past 3 years now. He dropped all the way to number 4 at Seattle, but none of the early craziness had anything to do with the Blue Jackets. It was just kind of an eventful first 4 picks all around. They draft David Jiricek and Denton Mateychuk in the first round, both defensemen. Jiricek was kind of the no-brainer pick at number 6. I think Arizona taking Logan Cooley at number 11, trading up and taking not Logan Cooley. What am I talking about? Connor Geeky is who I meant to say. I don't know how I got Logan Cooley in my head. He went number 3 to Arizona. That's why. Okay, so Arizona pitched Connor Geeky at 11. I think Yarmo wanted him at 12, and then when he was taken off the board, he just went for best pick available at 12, which they viewed as Denton Mateychuk. They drafted Luca Del Bel Beluz, who is a center, at number 2. So those were the two big needs that the Jackets had to fill, or that was the consensus needs they had, were defenseman and center. They drafted Jordan Dumais in the 3rd round, Kirill Dozenkov in the 4th. I probably butchered that name. It's a Russian name. There's a lot of Z's in there. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. They drafted Sergei Ivanov, a goalie, in their 5th round. They traded with San Jose to get back into the 5th to draft him. And then James Fisher in the 7th. I'm just going to come out and say that I don't watch junior hockey at all. I don't even know how I would watch junior hockey. Maybe I'd probably have to go on some sketchy pirating sites or pay $100 for some service, and I'm not doing either of those for junior hockey. The only thing I've seen from any of the Blue Jackets prospects is highlight videos, and if you make a highlight video for anyone that's about 5 to 10 minutes long, you can justify picking anybody, really. But smart people who know what the NHL is and the scouting videos and scouts and all that, they say that the CBJ had a good draft, so I'm just going to choose to believe them and be a little excited for the future. I still don't think that this is a team that's contending for a Stanley Cup or anything. Maybe if they play above their heads for 82 games, they might get into the playoffs and probably lose in the first round, but once you're in, you're in. You never know what happens after that. And the Jackets also had to give out qualifying offers by today. That was the deadline for all teams. But the Jackets extended qualifying offers to Patrick Laine, Nick Blankenberg, Emil Bemstrom, and Trey Fix-Wolansky. Obviously, Patrick Laine, the big name that we were hoping a deal gets done pretty soon. It seems like they've agreed to about a 5 or 6 year term. Now it's just about the annual AAV, how much money he's going to make. I would hope that the Kevin Fiala and Philip Forsberg deals kind of help speed those along. We're talking maybe something in the $7.5 to $9 million range for that amount of time. Although if I'm Patrick Laine's agents, maybe I try to be sneaky about it and try to use Zach Werenski's contract as a bit of a negotiating chip. But that doesn't seem to be the case. That's just something that I would do if I was one of Patrick Laine's agents. He should get a third agent and hire me on. I'll I'll advocate for the guy. But it seems that the contract negotiations, there haven't been much, but what has been talked about has been amicable so far. And that does mean that Gabriel Carlson and Kevin Stenlund are going to be unrestricted free agents starting on Wednesday the 13th. I don't think the organization sees either of those guys as part of their, I guess, either their immediate or long-term future plans. Obviously, they had hoped Gabriel Carlson could contribute more, being a late first-round pick, I think in 2015, but it just never really worked out for him at the NHL level. It's sad. I don't know if it's sad to see him go, but it's just it seems to be a missed opportunity there. And Kevin Stenlund was a guy who would get into the NHL lineup every now and then. He would look all right, and then he would kind of disappear for a while. This year, he was sent to the AHL. I think he played 2 games for the Blue Jackets in the NHL this season and has been in the AHL. I'm not sure if he got injured or not. Didn't keep up with the Monsters as religiously as I did the Blue Jackets. But the organization does seem comfortable with just letting him go to the open market and walk away from the organization. And I've mentioned before that I'm not a huge follower of, Major League Baseball, but I did see that the Cincinnati Reds won a game off of a walk-off balk. Of all the ways to win a baseball game, that is definitely one of the more unusual ones. And if you're a Reds fan or just a fan of generally chaotic things happening, then a walk-off balk is probably right up your alley. That's definitely a cool way to win a game. And that's really it for today. Nothing too major or too crazy going on, but there has been enough things that are of substance that have happened that I felt it was kind of necessary to do a quick little rundown video and just kind of catch me up on everything that's been going on. These videos are mostly for me more than anything else. This is just to remind myself of everything that's going on. If I forget something, I can come back and visit this later. But if you enjoyed it, then thank you. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, do whatever. Leave a comment telling me how much you liked this video or how much you hated this video. I'm open to feedback. I haven't gotten any because nobody's watching these, but oh well. If you did watch, thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next one.